it was weird. So you look at the ingredients, like, oh, I don't even understand I can't even pronounce it. Look, let's Google it. And I started to Google and do my research. And that's where I saw that what I put on my daughter was actually really not meant to go on a person's skin.
This is Changemakers episode 7, I believe we're up to now. Ellie from Go for Zero is a local champion. She's from the Moffat Beach area here in Australia on the Sunshine Coast. And whilst the products that they source that are amazing, eco-friendly, toxin-free, waste zero or close to waste zero are all from Australian producers, it doesn't mean that you can't source them overseas. And also, I think the general flow of conversation talking around, I guess, the concept of trying to live toxin-free is universal. So don't think that just because we're talking about Australian products or we're talking about a Moffat Beach business that this isn't applicable for everybody. G'day.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Beautiful. Righto. I was just having some dramas with the microphone. I don't know actually why I'm doing it, doing this to myself for this live carry on. The good thing is that most people watch it on the recording anyway. And so, with, I guess, technical challenges at the start, hopefully they can just go through. And I'm still trying to feel like how critical it is, like whether you are, bang on time or not on time, but who knows? I don't know. Technology. So how's your day been anyway?
Good, busy, but good. Busy is good for us. So.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Indeed. So hopefully I got that intro right and that most of the information was at least partially correct. But how about just to make sure that you, I guess, give everyone a bit of a rundown on who you are and what you're up to with Go for Zero.
Yeah, I think you did really well. So
thank
good job. Go for Zero. So we started a year and a half ago, and it's a company based in Moffat Beach, so on the Sunshine Coast, and we source only sustainable products, and they're all Australian families that are making them or designing them.
Yes.
And so one of the most critical factors for us is obviously that they are toxin-free, but that they're also sustainable. So we don't have any products packaged in plastic. So they all come or in a tin, which is very easy to recycle, doesn't end up in landfill. Same with glass, very easy to recycle. Because the common knowledge about plastic is a lot of people say it's recyclable plastic, but like only 9% gets truly recycled. And in the end, it still ends up in landfill because it downcycles, like they say, it doesn't get recycled. The quality gets worse and worse.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, that's the sort of information that people need to know about, right? Because, I mean, like I, for many years have felt like I was a good little recycler and I put all my stuff in the recycling bin. But, if it's ultimately, I mean, not to say I'm going to stop that because I guess something's better than nothing. But if there are other better ways to go about things, then, I think it's good to know about them. So, what's your backstory? I'm always interested in knowing, people's background and I suppose how they've ended up becoming the people that they are today. So, I mean, I pick up an accent. Is that a Dutch accent?
Yeah, close, very close. I'm from Belgium.
Ah, okay, yes.
Yeah. So I moved here 3 years ago, and I love it. I absolutely love it here.
Yeah. Did you come straight to Moffat Beach?
Yeah, we did actually, because my husband's Australian. So I met him in Belgium because he used to live there for 16 years. And then when we had our little girls, we decided to move back here because we came on holidays. And it's just so beautiful and so nice over here.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I've sort of lived in quite a few places in Australia, and they're all special in their own sort of way. But this is a really beautiful, world-class area, just so spoiled, the beaches, and that's one of the things I think now, like, when you travel, you go to other places that are supposed to be famous for beaches, and I hope I'm not sledging people too badly, but sometimes you get there and you're just like, I think it's better at home.
We live in a holiday area, that's for sure.
Yeah. All of your family still back overseas?
Yeah. So I really came here. I didn't know anyone. I have my family-in-law, obviously, who are lovely.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any connections to Australia at all, and it's really far. Like even when you have a bad day or something like that, you can't just like say I'll go for the weekend home or something like that. You just and it is a big part, and it's even a big part in setting up a business. I personally find, because when you grow up in an area, you have your friends that you go to school with, you have your friends that you go to university with, and so on, and you always have connections when you launch a business. Well, I see when I came here, I launched my business and I had no connection. So I think that was definitely at the start a really an important part, and something I didn't realize was really important, actually.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I moved around quite a lot. A lot of my audience would know that, I sort of grew up in country New South Wales and lived in different places. And there's definitely some significant positives to that. I think it really shaped me as a person and gave me a huge appreciation for, I guess, a diverse range of people. But I don't have those networks. Like, I'm not from Brisbane. Like, even when I was in Brisbane doing business there was a guy I was working with years ago, probably 10 years ago, and he had come out of private school, and they were all like intermixed, and then all the parents would help each other's kids' businesses out. You know what I mean? So they've got a big leg up. So I appreciate that. And yours is even more drastic because you're on the other side of the world. So when you were growing up, were you an environmentally conscious person? Did you grow up in like that sort of environment? What was your kind of family setting like?
Yeah, no, I did grow up on the coast in Belgium, which is very different and colder and more grey than where we are now. Yeah. But I did grow up on the coast, and I was a lifeguard. So I always loved the connection with nature, and it was just an important part of my life, I think. But I really started Go for Zero. Well, my personal journey, I really started when my daughter was born, because she reacted to any creams, any oils that you would put in a baby bath, like all the big brands that I love, because I love all scents and everything like that. And she would just turn out in rashes. And that's where I just started. It was weird. So you look at the ingredients, like, I don't even understand I can't even pronounce it. Look, let's Google it. And I started to Google and do my research. And that's where I saw that what I put on my daughter was actually really not meant to go on a person's skin.
I know, it's so amazing.
As a mom or just as a person, you think there's so many regulations in there, but there's just not. And I think that was a real eye-opener for me. So I started to make my own creams. And then when I moved here, I had to research all new natural brands. And I did that, and I just saw that they all came in plastic, and I thought, like, hang on, like, if you're trying to do good for us and for health, we put all these things into plastic, like, are there no other options? And I thought it was so hard to find, and I was like, see, I'm just going to give this a try. I'm only going to support local families that do natural, sustainable products and see where it takes me.
Wow, so good. So how old was your daughter before you made the move over here?
3.
3 years old. Yeah.
3.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had another one then, and my other one was 7 or 9 or some months when we moved here. So we moved here with 2 little ones, actually.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. What was your background work-wise before starting this?
So I'm actually a psychologist. So I've got my master's in psychology, and I also have my master's in business coaching. And so I worked as a trainer for a long time ago. So I did a lot of conflict training, and so going into companies. And then I moved actually to a retail company where I started to do more strategy work. And so I worked in strategy, and it was really interesting because it was all strategies across the different countries that we had to follow up on their KPIs and things like that. And that brought me a bit into the retail world and more understand how retail works. And I guess I just took whatever I love and combined it with my background. And let's Go for Zero today.
Yeah. So with that psychology background, do you get into, I guess, when it comes to marketing, do you get into customer sort of personas, or the psychology of buying and things like that, or do the products just kind of speak for themselves and you, I guess, get word of mouth kind of traction?
So I wouldn't say that, like, it's not that I'm analyzing my customers and how they talk to me and how I can interact with them non-verbal, but I think when you study psychology, you just have a genuine interest in people. And I think that's what drives me more in the business. So when I see customers, I just genuinely want to know, what are their issues? Do they have eczema? What have they tried? What worked? What didn't work? Find out what they are allergic to. So I think it's not that I would try to analyze their minds or anything like that, but I think it's more the genuine interest in wanting to help people that really, and that's the part, I think, that of my psychology that really helped me.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of start? What were the first steps, I guess, that you took to get this going?
It's a good question. It was quite impulsive, to be honest, because a certain day I thought, like, you know what, why don't I, because Christmas was coming up, I was like, why don't I just try a pop-up? I get some products in that I love myself, just make a little store, try a little pop-up in the main street where I live, and just see if people would be interested in it at all.
Yeah.
And so I tried, and it was really hard to find a space, because if you're not a real business, people are like, well, I'm not renting a space for you to 3 months, like it was really hard to find it. Like, I wrote letters to the owners of the buildings and so on, but I just didn't give up. And then one person said yes, and I was like, okay, I just ordered, I guess, 3 products of everything that I really like, put up a little store for 3 months, and that went so well for me. And I learned what my customers are after, what they really value. So the whole I only support Australian families is really important for people.
Yeah.
And even more now, I see that definitely with everything happening in the world, people are really, really important. And that just made me finalize more exactly how I want to launch it. So I just did a pop-up, and I was like, well, hang on, there's some interest. Let's try an online store and see.
Yeah. So that was kind of like, I guess, like a bit proof of concept, really. You kind of get a little bit of a feel before sort of, making that leap to sort of go in all in, because obviously once you have a lease to deal with, your costs are going to jump up significantly. Yeah. So what were the 3 products that you loved that you started with?
I've got to think back about that. I would say it was probably one of the skincares that I have still on, which is called Sanctum. And it comes in a biodegradable tube. It looks like plastic, but it's fully biodegradable, even the cap. That was definitely one that I absolutely loved.
How do you spell Sanctum?
Sanctum, SANCTUM.
Sanctum. Alrighty. Yes. What were the other? What else?
Australian brand. So definitely that one for skincare, I would say. Then we had also the henna pads on, so it's reusable. It's not so interesting for you, but it's reusable panty liners.
Yeah.
So it was really just coming up like about 1.5 years to 2 years ago. So that was an interesting one to take on. And then I would say, or reduce waste products, because I saw you say Australian products only. So it's really Australian brands, because out of all the products that we have, so it's only Australian families that we support, including ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. But about 90% is made in Australia too. We find it very hard to find any bamboo, stainless steel, and silicone productions here. So that would be the main ones, the 3 main ones that it's very hard to find Australian made.
Yeah. When I had a bit of a look at your website, I was just like, wow, there's like so many products here. So that's why when I put the little the Twitter post out, I was like, seriously, like if somebody's thinking I might just have a little look at the toxin-free space, I mean, they could land on your website there and just go, wow, I'm pretty much covered. I just buy things from here and away we go. So tell me, so when you change your products, so with your your, was it daughter? Sorry, the first baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with your daughter. So when you changed the product to an only natural solution, did that solve the issues that you were having?
Yeah. And I see with my daughter, because we get a lot of people that are very sensitive. And with my daughter still, even some natural products, if they have essential oils in them, some essential oils she'll react to. Not react to, but her eyes get watery, and you see, and she's like holding back sneezes. Like, she's incredibly sensitive to scents, I would say, anything that has any scents, but not on her skin. She doesn't react to it anymore, but I can see that something in her body still reacts to certain scents. Not everything, because I have skincare on and I'm perfectly fine next to her. But sometimes if I have something new, I say, like, smell this, and I can see she's like, oh, so awkward. But she's a good guideline for me. I just say, like, hey, smell this. And she
there you
reacts.
go. Or tester, just kind of gas her with some.
Test it on my daughter. That's going to be on all my products now.
Yeah, no animal testing, just my daughter.
yeah, just my kid. But no, it definitely helped. It helped a lot.
Yeah. Because I know I've got to say, and I hope my wife doesn't hate me for this, but like, I think that we're pretty good, like, from a eating sort of, from a nutritional perspective, pretty good. Trying to get better. We know, like, she's quite into it, so she knows more than I do. But like, I think we're on a journey where we're trying to head into a bit more of a all organic path. You know, like, I have. I don't know whether you've got to see it on here, but like, my skin, for example, like, it's kind of, it's a bit out of focus. It's a bit sort of like just deteriorated. And then this, like, the thumb sometimes, just sometimes these fingers, they go really bad. And it's just, it gets quite painful, actually, because it goes sort of all the way back to, like, the nail sort of thing. And I just, like, I saw someone the other day, because also my toes have some issues going on. So, like, and they said, oh, are you using it's soap? And I was like, well, of course, I'm using soap. And they're like, oh, you need a soap-free, product. I was like, oh, okay, right. Like, I'm an active guy. I think I need something that's going to be able to, like, deal with my sweat, my underarms, and what have you. So, Tell me, what's the state of play in that particular area at the moment? Because I know I grew up in Bellingham, which is quite a hippie sort of place. So there were a lot of people getting around the place who definitely, I think, were going the toxin-free route. But you could tell that they smelt. They did not smell. They did not smell good. So I hope it's improved a lot. Where is it at now?
I think it's come a long way, because it's becoming way more mainstream. Now, like deodorants, for example, they work with bicarbonate soda, so it's a natural product, but it's it helps incredibly well for any scents, because people clean with it. Like, it's something that keeps scents away, so it works very well. We've got, like, even from deodorants, we've got a wild range, so that's a range that most men actually use. And it has a lot of bicarbonate, so it's a very like, it works amazing. Like, natural deodorant, I have to say, we really test our products for a long time before we take them on. And some brands we haven't taken on, for sure, because if it doesn't work on me, like, I'm quite an average person, like, then it won't work on someone who smells more stronger. Like, my poor husband, he has tried so many of my things that I've tried on him. So we just test it all out for a long time and only then take it on. But no, like, natural skincare has come such a long way. Such a long way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I imagine it's a two-part process, right? I mean, there's general hygiene in terms of cleaning and what have you, and then you've got, like, a deodorant type thing. So if you've got those two things sort of working in harmony, then you're probably on a good track.
If I can say, like, it's really about taking little steps, and it's with everything, because we have a lot of, like, our products, so we try to have them natural as well as sustainable. So that's what we do. Okay. So, for example, if you talk about your soap, we won't have a hand soap that has, for example, SLS. So what makes it foam? That dries the skin out really well, and that could be what causes to see what soap you use. We can have look at the ingredients together. But so what we then do is we have a natural soap which doesn't come in plastic either, but it's only made out of oils. So it functions as a normal soap, but it doesn't have the drying ingredients in it, what makes it foam that much. But they do still foam, so they just have a natural part that foams it now. So it's really about taking little steps. And what do you use the most? You know, like we always say, like start with your deodorant. It's under your arms. It's so close to your breasts. You shouldn't have aluminium in it anymore. It shouldn't have any synthetic fragrances in it. And just away like that, like, okay, what do I apply on myself a lot? And then you can go into the kitchen and see like, okay, I use this dishwashing liquid, which probably has something in it too that reacts to your skin, as I can see. So how can I change that? So it's really about taking just little steps and take it easy. Don't be too hard on yourself, but just take it easy and try one product at a time.
Yeah, I think that's good advice because maybe some people and I can already see it in my brain, just kind of thinking, okay, grab all the products, chuck them in the bag, throw them down there, get all the other stuff in.
Because that's also not sustainable, right? Like maybe the better way is like if you're finished with your toothpaste, then have a look at like when you're coming to the end, okay, instead of buying that again, have a look and what is another alternative that I can use.
How much truth is there in, and this is kind of where I was going from the nutrition perspective, but how much truth is there in the story of your skin being like a big receptor? So I guess, ultimately, you might go, hey, I'm going to be all like kind of healthy, toxin-free. I'm not going to be using products that are going to kill the good bacteria in my body. But then you're blasting around the house with different cleaning products and things like that. You're then just getting on your skin and you're coming into contact with the things that you've just cleaned with all those antibacterials. What's the current school of thought, I guess, in terms of how receptive your skin is to things coming into your body from what you've got in and around the house?
Yeah, so your skin is actually your largest organ that you have. So that's everything that you apply on your skin, they say between 60 and 80% gets absorbed into the skin too. So that's really a lot. So even if you think about sunscreens, mainstream sunscreens, if you look at the back what's in it, if you put that on your skin, like it's normal that people get rashes from it and so on. So you just have to know like what you put on your skin, you will absorb too. So personal care is always a good one to start to go toxin-free. But like you say, if you're then spraying a room mist in the room or in your toilet or whatever, and it still lands on you, it just has the same effect. So you have to see what's your priority, hey? Where do you want to make the first change?
Yeah. For me, it would definitely be this sort of issue with my skin. Yeah. And like I know my mum, she has the same sort of thing, so I'm blaming her for some hereditary chaminess. And I've got a mate who, and I won't say his name, but he gets really bad dried out eczema and things like that. And his partner's quite into like healthy food and trying to eliminate a lot of the toxins. So she'll probably be quite interested in this and, I guess the advice that you have to share. So, okay, so take small steps. Don't think you have to do it all in one go. What about the price? Because that's something else that I'm in my brain. I'm thinking, okay, is this going to be like something that the average person can afford to do? What are we looking at price comparison wise on most products?
So I think also because when I started, it was also one of my important parts is like, how can we make it all affordable, but without losing the quality? So when I started it off, I really looked for not the products that are the prettiest, but the ones that are the most effective and have a good price point. Because often it's you pay for branding, right? You pay for if I'm an upscale brand, then I'll make it look with a golden line on it, and you pay more. So I really started off not having any of these brands on, and I wouldn't say I still have any of these even. Like I really look at price point a lot because I want it to be affordable for people. And I think it's also because it's becoming more mainstream. You see that it is becoming more because the demand is increasing.
Yeah.
So you can see the pricings. I find it like any soaps and things are really getting very similar to any other soaps.
Yeah.
Skincare, I would say, because they don't have any filler. So what often products do is they add lots of water in it, or they add any synthetic fillers in it, and natural products don't have that. So instead of water, they often add aloe vera juice. So that's so much more expensive. Like Sanctum, their whole range, the first ingredient is aloe vera juice. So if you look at your ingredient list, the first one listed is the one that has the most in it in the product.
That's it. Yeah.
So instead of water, they use that. So you already see, like, it has way more concentrated, the product, so you don't use as much, but it will cost you a little bit more because they don't put water in it. So you're not paying for water either. You're paying for a product that will really help and benefit your skin. So it's a bit more expensive. Some products can be, but they're often way more concentrated, which means you will use much less. Much less. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to do something that's probably going to make you and some of the viewers cringe, and my wife included. How bad is this? I've got a little bit of an addiction to these monster cans. I've got to get my sleep and alcohol consumption balanced out, I think. So this is part of the problem.
I would say they're pretty bad. What about a green tea or something? It also has a tea in it, and
I need to transition. I walked into the Moffat Beach Motel because Diana there, she's going to be a guest on my Monday show, which is Mondays at Moffs. And it's really, I mean, you could have been on that show too, but I kind of liked the idea of having you on Changemakers instead. Because I consider anybody who's doing something that's helping us to be healthier and live longer and more comfortably to be a change maker. So yes, but I walked into her motel one day just to say hello and introduce myself, and I had the monster cans with me, and she gave me a bit of a little lecture, which I appreciated. So if you're watching, Diana, I appreciate the lecture. But I think she was talking about green tea, and I was like, okay,
same. What about green tea?
yeah. So what are your most popular sellers now? Because I mean, you've got such a wide range that span not just cosmetics and things like that. You've got all sorts of physical products and things like that as well. Soap holders and all sorts. What do you tend to sell most of now?
So definitely out of our best sellers would be silicone food covers. So it's anything that instead of using Glad Wrap at home, you use a silicone cover, and unless you cut it, it will last you years and years and years. So that's to reduce plastic. Right. That one I would also say are reusable makeup pads, and I just did a video this morning on them. I don't have one tomorrow. And it's actually, instead of disposable pads that you use on your face or wipes to take off your makeup or anything like that, they're reusable ones. So they have a little pouch in it. And I would say the third one would be shampoo bars. So instead of any shampoo that, so that's how they look. I'll bring you one. I'll show you.
Yeah, awesome. This is it.
So that's how they look. And they have a little pouch in them. Yes. So it's actually when men clean their face, you put your cleanser on and you use this, and then it comes in a wash bag, and you just pop that in the washing and you reuse it next time instead of a wipe that you throw away or anything like that. Yeah. And then the third one is by far the shampoo bars. So it's instead of shampoo that comes in a plastic bottle with a lot of water, obviously. It's like a soap bar. It comes in a soap bar. It looks like a normal soap bar, but it's one that to wash your hair.
Yeah, cool. Okay, it's interesting. I'm just trying to type. Hopefully, I haven't done any typos. Be kind, people, if I'm making typos while I'm trying to, multitask here. Yeah. Okay. So talk to me. I mean, because I'm still intrigued by the pricing. So, like for a man, let's say, like if you're someone who really needs a good antiperspirant deodorant. So we're talking about helping with sweating as well as the aroma side of things. What would be the product that you'd recommend, and how much does it cost?
So let's say that you want to make the change. I would recommend you the wild or not the super strong one. So the urban deodorant in a tin, and that would probably last you 2 months, and that costs about $11.
$11, 2 months. Okay, that seems all right. I don't really know how long my deodorant can takes, and I'm having a guess. It's maybe not great for me because it's, well, who knows? It's cheap. It's quite cheap, but it happens to be like probably the most effective for me. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to try try that.
And they sell so well, deodorants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you all online, or you have people come to your location as well?
Yeah, so we have an online store, but people also come to a warehouse in Moffat. But we also have 2 stores and a third one opening actually in 2 weeks.
Wow, gee, I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, we're in Caloundra. Together with another store, which is called White Pepper.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful, gorgeous design store in Caloundra in the main street.
Yeah, I think I know it. Yeah, they've got the really amazing kind of beachy kind of furniture.
Beautiful, really beautiful store. And then in Mullaney, and then we're opening in Paddington in Brizzy.
Yeah, cool. We used to live down near there, Paddo. In those stores, the one in Mullaney, is it again like a co-venture sort of thing? And you basically negotiated some space within somebody else's store.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's a small version of our online store, and we just put our best sellers there, and we change it over once in a while. So moving into Christmas, we'll have a bit more gift bags and things like that. So we just change it up to try to keep it interesting, and that works really well for us, really well.
I think that's a really clever idea. How long have you been doing that?
The one in Caloundra has been probably a year or a year and a half almost, and the one in Mullaney a month and a half, quite recently. And then so we've started with the Caloundra one, and we saw that worked well for us, so that's how we're expanding it.
Yeah. And why Paddington?
Because also the lady from the White Pepper store wanted to open one there.
Okay.
And it's really well known also for people that really are my age that like to go there. They're very unique products over there, so that just fits really well with our store. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. It's much better than going and setting up your entire retail premises, which brings with it, just a whole another array of issues. And did you approach them, or did you meet them just by chance on your journeys?
So when I opened my own pop-up store, they were next door to me. So that's how we know each other. And then when I closed it up, I had so many of my customers saying like, "Oh, why do you close?" And it's so nice to have you in the street. And that's how we came up with the idea of just moving into her store. And then I expanded a bit my store again in her store. So, I took more and more space on. So it just grew organically like that.
Nice. So you mentioned a video you did this morning. Do you do much in the way of training? Like, is that and educating people?
Yeah, and I should do it way more. And every day I think like I have to do at least a product a day, but just it's work and kids just get in the way to do that. But it's really one of my main focuses to keep improving that. But I take the product home, or I'm in the warehouse, or when something comes in, I just do a quick video and tell them about what these are, why they're good for you, how they reduce your waste, and how to use them. And if they have any questions, we get a lot of questions through my stories, so I can it's a bit more the personal side of it, which I love. I love to hear what customers are after, what the questions are. I get feedback through it, it's a nice.
Can you share some of those stories or some of those examples of, I guess, what people have come in with, and then the end result?
Maybe the sunscreen, because I had a mum send me pictures of her kid, and I wasn't sure because I didn't see the kid, but it looked like really a bit similar, like a big rash on all like the corner parts of your body, like on your
dry area,
but really red, and
Mm.
some parts I could see in the picture were really like open, horrible. And she said like she thinks it was caused by sunscreen. So she sent me through her sunscreen. I had a look at the ingredients, and I said, so what I think, because I research every day, like I love researching. I said, like, these ingredients, I don't think they're great to put on kids, not even on adults, but definitely not on kids. So she just came into the warehouse and got a sunscreen, and ever since she uses her sunscreen, she said it's amazing. So there is a product in there that a kid really reacted badly to. And so, yeah, you see a lot of changes, and even like a bit more awkward things like, well, I know you're a man, but you have these menstrual cups. I'm sure you have.
It's funny. Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because I was just thinking in my head, oh, will I talk to her about that? So I thought, oh, you know what? Look, I'm pretty game. They're going to say, hey, okay, guys, let's all be grown up here. Like, let's just because I saw the picture, and I did like have that little bit of like kind of panic, I guess, that you used to have when you're younger and you're first getting exposed to these sorts of things. But right, let's talk. You've gone there, so let's talk about the is it on Instagram? Just out of interest.
Did you? Oh yeah,
yeah. Got one.
Facebook, yeah, I do, yeah.
Because I could show on here. I'm interested on the sunscreen, like what is actually in that is that's so different though. It's a bit interesting. What are the main ingredients? Like, are there certain things, I guess, that we should know? Hey, we should really look out for that particular thing within the product and try it. What? Because I thought it was like PBA or something. Wasn't that something you're supposed to try to avoid? BPA,
yeah, that's often in plastic. So often in anything that like in kids' drink bottles or any plastic drink bottles. So and I found definitely because you often sit in the heat or your bottle stays in the car. Like I found it. Like even with coffee cups, like plastic coffee cups, I always think like, oh, I really wish they could move to a glass one or a different way, because still plastic leaches, and definitely with heat it leaches into your products.
Yeah, even the ones that are, I guess, espousing to be really good for you, you think you're still getting stuff leaching in. Yeah,
and that's why like we don't do any plastic. And it's already way better to use a plastic cup for the earth, for our planet, to use a plastic coffee cup. But because I'm so concerned about our health too, I would never sell a plastic coffee cup. Yeah. Even though it's good for the planet, it's not good for you. So.
Yeah.
And it's where you go. I want to be a store that when you come to, you're doing good for you, you're doing good for the planet, and you're supporting Australian families.
Yeah, that's
so
really
I just
lovely.
want to be that.
Yeah, I like that sort of. I do really love that combo, because I think that's one of the things that that's how I actually first came to know about you, because I was in that Willie's Coffee there. So anybody in Moffat should definitely swing by Willie's Coffee. The little business park. It's just kind of off the main track there, but Google will take you there, or Apple if it's somehow taking control of your GPS, but Google will definitely get you to Willie's Coffee, and then Go for Zero is only maybe 100 meters down. But yeah, I was talking to them about the whole social enterprise thing, talking about what I'm doing with Flicks for Good, and trying to set up this video streaming service. And then they said, "Oh, you should go talk to Ellie, because she knows lots of different people around the place." So I'm definitely keen to dig into more of your products, to hear some of those stories, because some of those people could be great to feature on some of my shows. And I mean, it's really appealing. Yeah, here we go. All right.
So it was really Health Week. So we spoke a lot actually about women's periods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
so what's
does this work about? Exactly the way that I'm probably picturing this working? Like it's going to, I guess, create a seal that then captures everything in the cup?
Exactly. So it's so easy, because you can, when a person can put it in the morning, and you don't, like if you have pads or tampons, you have to change it out because it can leak. Well, these guys, You can just put it in. You can do your surfing, your yoga, your running. You can have meetings all day. You don't have to take it out at all. Just at night when you come home, you dip it out, wash it, and put it back in. And that's it. Like, it's an amazing swap. And it's obviously better for you because, like, it's easier once you use it, but it will save you so much money because these last, depending who you talk to, between 6 and 8 and 10 years. Like, they just.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Food grade silicone, so they don't leach anything into your body. They're amazing.
The average person uses 12,000 tampons and pads over a lifetime. Wow. That's pretty pretty full on, and it's comfortable.
Yeah, you don't feel it. It's very soft, to be honest. Yeah, it's very soft. So once it's in there, you don't feel it at all. At all.
Amazing.
Yeah. Huh. And it's one of the products that gets a lot of traction because people have heard about it, they've seen it, and honestly, when you talk to someone who uses it, they are like, everyone loves it. Everyone loves it once they use it, but it's to take that step and, like, it's a bit different than what you're used to. And it's the same with a lot of sustainable products. Like, silicone food covers are very different than Glad wrap, but once you use it, it's so easy to use. Like, it's almost a no-brainer, but you have to take the step and do it. Yeah.
I don't think I agree with this one. Everything else so far has been going fine. Even the period cup, I got through that. And I thought it was useful for the ladies watching to be aware of the period cup. But dad jokes are here to stay, I'm afraid, whether you like that or not. Whoever's doing your Instagram's doing a pretty good job. I probably need to take a few pointers from them. Mine's kind of a little bit sort of just I like to try and put more stuff in there, like little videos of Moffat Beach or around the coast and things that are kind of pretty and interesting, or just other kind of creative and artistic things I find that I like to mix up, all of my posts to do with the shows I'm doing. But doing the shows has kind of become a bit all-consuming for the time being.
Okay. By the way, where you're hovering there, the middle part, that's a sunscreen. Yeah.
This one here? Sun butter. Yeah. I mean, they look great, don't they? All the products. It's and I think, as you say, it's I get excited just with the idea of more and more people, I guess, tuning into doing things in a way that's better for the world and better for us as human beings, and then it becoming more affordable, because that's like organic food, right? Like, if everybody, or if a large chunk of people all just decided that they were only going to buy organic food, then all of a sudden all the food providers, even the ones who don't frankly give a shit whether you're healthy or not, would then go, well, we're going to have to up our game when it comes to the organic side of things. Any I guess horror stories or situations that have gone badly in terms of product selection?
Obviously, every business, right? Sure. Like, I can say I was always convinced that I wanted to make my own. So before I had my store, but we lived in Australia, like, I ran out of my skincare and I was like, oh, easy. I know everyone loves avocado oil for your face. I'll just put it on my face. So it was at night and I went to the kitchen and I put like that on my face, and I come to my bed and my husband's like, what is that smell? I know it smells so strong, but it's supposed to be so good for your skin. And like, in the end, I couldn't sleep with it. It was horrendous, actually. Next morning, I got back to it. I said, like, why is this good for your skin? So I look at the bottle and it said like garlic infused avocado oil.
Oh, no.
So I put like this stinky garlic thing on my face, thinking I was doing something amazing. So I probably it was good for my skin, but it was not good for my husband's health.
No, you're breathing. Yeah, that's hilarious. So, but I mean, so if it wasn't garlic infused, then you'd probably be okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because avocado is great, but I just didn't see it. And I've got a few like this that I think like, oh gosh, I'll make this, and then it doesn't come off my face. And I was like, oh, there's more to it than do it yourself all the time. Definitely for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to you have to have a look in my it's actually on Instagram. So this is where things get a little bit tricky for people because I sort of have tried to, transition, get a little bit fancier and do this stuff through these streaming packages so that I can then put it out to YouTube and Facebook all at once, and maybe more down the line. But I was initially doing these interviews via Instagram Live, and so a large chunk of the interviews I've done so far are actually on my Instagram account, which is Brad for Good. So if anybody's looking for that, I want to see some of the prior episodes, I'll just pop that there. Yeah, it's just at Brad for Good. And so on there's an episode there with a lady who has a product called Cocoa Pops. I don't know, have you seen Cocoa Pops or had them? So she was having issues a bit similar to yourself, like where her child was having had some health issues. No, maybe it was the husband had some health issues. Anyway, she ended up going down the rabbit hole of looking into products and food and what's in everything, and just finding out that that like a lot of the hydration products, particularly out there, like Hydrolyte and all these other things, that the sodium that they were using in them was not, it had issues, and it wasn't like a lot of the products that were within them that you think are actually okay, when it came down to it, weren't good. And so she went on this journey and ended up doing a lot of learning and researching and jumping through hoops to get stuff passed because it's food grade sort of product. And she's created these like icicle sort of, like a Super Duper, like a Super Duper replacement. And they're really pretty packaging, and they're called Cocoa Pops. And they're mostly coconut water, and they've got a few different flavors. And you can get hydrated, and also she reckons they're a good hangover cure. So it's always positive. It's just another little bonus for the adults as well. Yeah, yeah. She's in within all the IGTV stuff and in there. Yeah, if you dig into it. Yes. So who how many are the resellers that you're doing at the moment on the coast? Like, how many people are here on the Sunshine Coast?
Of my sales?
Of the of the products. So of the products that you're selling, how many of them are from local providers?
I should have a look on my website, because we were just categorizing them all per state too. I wouldn't know out of the top of my head. Maybe around 10, 15 suppliers. Yeah. Okay. They all have products, so then they all have their own range. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. And do you know whether any of them are set up as social enterprises or not-for-profits or anything like that?
So, and that's not one of my suppliers, but the what's it called? 10 Little Pieces. Have you heard of her?
No.
Like, she educates kids on sustainability.
Mm.
And like, I know she was a non-for-profit, but she actually said it's really hard to be a non-for-profit with all the regulations and all the paperwork, and because I haven't looked into it myself. But I don't think, the companies I support are mostly families, and I don't think they are non-for-profits, but probably 90% of all the Aussie families, they do support a cause. So or it's 1% for the planet they do, or they plant a tree with every purchase. Like, everyone has a purpose to their business.
Something, that's nice. I like that. It's
so we do, when you check out online for us, we say $1 of whatever you buy, even if you buy one toothbrush, whatever, we donate $1 to a cause that you can choose, and we have a selection made ourselves. So we've got Feed Aussies, we've got Save the Reef and Restore Our Land, and so you can just click on whichever one that you prefer that we donate to, and then there's a whole dashboard. You can see exactly what it is, how much money we've donated to them, and so that's a bit our purpose. We just try to help around Australia as much as we can.
Yeah, that's cool. And out of interest, the dashboard, is that powered by another company, like a third party product?
Yeah.
Is that Little Phil? Because I think there's some product called Little Phil that does this. Oh, okay.
iChange. It's called iChange.
I change.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea, like having the ability to be able to pick and choose. Like that's something that if I succeed in my mission to get this video streaming platform running, the goal with Flicks for Good is to raise money and awareness for different causes, here and all over the world. And I already know that whether I buy a pre-built kind of product that we tinker and make into it, or we build it from scratch, that the technology is there to support us to have the ability so that people who subscribe could actually nominate, what direction they want their portion of money that gets raised to go to. Because otherwise, you're like, okay, like there's something about like a cat refuge or something, and you might hate cats, and you're just like, well, I don't want to, like it's not beneficial for me to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, like, we looked every month, we were looking for different charities to donate to, but it's very hard to track your impact. So what I like about them is that you can really see, since we launched it, and we only launched this one about, is it 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe? If I go in there now, I can see how much we've donated to which cause. If the $1 feeds 2 Aussies, for example, like we can really, really measure our impact, which is great, because we do all this. We ship carbon neutral. We have no plastic in our packaging either. Even our shipping labels are biodegradable, so you can, everything that we send to you, like there's no landfill, then we offset the emissions too. So that was really for us a last part of how can we donate when people buy from us? How can we actually donate and do good with it?
Yeah. So talk to me about the, I guess those sorts of elements, the carbon neutral component. Do you, in terms of the shipping, so you achieve that also through another provider, I believe I read, and I can't remember whether I put it in the description, but who are they?
So Sandal does it, and Australia Post does it.
Okay.
And it's 100% that they offset it, so it's by planting trees. They have, like on their pages, they have everything exactly they do and how they measure it. So that was really important. When we launched, we never launched with any other companies. I went straight with Sandal because that's their core. That's how they launched their business.
Yeah.
And then other companies followed.
Yeah, that's really good. And have you tell me, have you made like friends, I guess, specifically because of what you're doing, like the products that you sell? Or has that I guess become a thing?
Like friends, I think more because the friends I made around here, it's probably more when I moved here, I joined Surfing Mums.
Oh yeah, yep.
And like most of my friends here are friends that I know through surfing together, or having a coffee, or do something active together.
Yeah.
And I find I met a lot of businesses, which I really, really absolutely love. And also, if I can help them to be more sustainable, that's really, I find it one of my personal goals. Like, how can I help other businesses? And I guess that's also because I have my master's in business coaching. I think that's still a part of me. I would love to help people to be more sustainable in their life, which is go for zero, but also in their business, which is like my personal goal also.
Yeah. That's nice. Well, I think we should talk more offline about this idea of getting a social enterprise, not-for-profit kind of startup, not a startup, what's it called, meetup, like a meetup group happening here on the coast. And I mean, you obviously have to figure out the COVID-19 things, but otherwise, the guys at Willie's, they had said that they've got space there, so we could potentially do something. So if anybody's watching, by the way, and you are on the Sunshine Coast, please reach out, because this is just a concept that I've just plucked out of the air. I just thought, it'd be interesting just to find other people who are interested in these sorts of things. And, I guess like a Chamber of Commerce, but not maybe... Actually, I won't say that, because the chamber here is actually very good in Caloundra. So I was going to say maybe not as dry, but some chambers are a bit dry. Here they are very, very active, and Olivia's doing a great job. But I think, just the social enterprise space is an area that a lot of people don't know about, and it's more people need to know like what it is, and I guess get an understanding and appreciation, like even within my friendship circle, I was kind of taken aback a little bit with the reaction from some people, like, because I said, okay, I want to set up this video streaming thing. I want to do it as a social enterprise, so we'll give half the profit, at least half the profit, to the causes that we're supporting. And they were like, oh, I think you should be giving 70 or 80%. And I was just like, well, like, I'll be honest, like, I'm not giving enough to be just a complete not-for-profit, right? And just like and work for minimum wage. But also I'm not, I guess, as greedy as like to go like full for profit and just try to make bucket loads of cash. I'd like to try and do something that's sort of in the middle. So like I'm not here to get rich, but at the same time I'm not anti-money. Do you know what I mean? So
and you have to be your family. Like that's what I feel more. Like I want to support as many people as I can. And I have to say, with the money that comes in for us, every time I can, I take on a new brand. So I'm just trying to grow the business. And I can't say, like, we downsized from our apartment. We went to a 2-bed apartment just to be able to fund the business more. Like, I think that it's easy to do when you have a real purpose with your business.
Yeah.
It's an important part. And like, it's too small. With our 2 kids and us, it's too small. So we definitely, we're looking for a change. But I don't know. It's just money is not a driver for me. It's definitely the purpose. And I get up every day. I get up at 4 to start working before my kids get up. And you cannot do it I don't think you can do it if you're just in it for the money. I think you have that purpose and you really want to make a change. And like we want to really be the biggest store, a zero waste store. Like then you get up. You've got that drive and that fire in your belly to be better and be good. But it's not like I won't be a millionaire with this, and I'm totally fine. I prefer to get more brands on and support more people and donate more and just be able to my little kids and have a nice life.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so good. I mean, and these are the things that actually really bring people happiness. And, I worked in recruitment for 6 years and I've interviewed a lot of people, and definitely people were most driven by a sense of purpose. And I feel like myself, like I'm so focused on what I'm doing that, the naysayers and the people on the sidelines who think I've lost my mind and everything else, I'm just going for it because I can see the impact that I'll be able to make, and all I need to do is get other people to believe in it. Hey, look, I've just noticed the time that we're almost at the magical hour mark. So look, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for working with me and the time shift and all the stuff with Facebook and scheduling and all that kind of stuff. And thank you for all the education about
the cup.
The cup, yeah, and trying to live toxin-free. But I'll definitely pop on down there sometime to say good day and in person, and look forward to trying some of your products. And everybody else who watches this, get on there, go for zero, and get yourself happening toxin-free.
Thank you so much
for coming. See you later. Bye. Bye, everybody. See you next time. Remember, share the show with your mates.